Fletcher and the falling leaves. So what season do you think they're in? Yeah, fall, just like we are now. Let's get started. The world was changing. Each morning when Fletcher bounded out of the den, everything seemed just a little bit different. The rich green of the forest was turning a dusty gold, and the soft swishing sound of summer was fading into a crinkly whisper. Fletcher's favorite tree looked dull, dry, and brown. Fletcher was beginning to get worried. So what's happening right now to Fletcher's tree? It used to be green and lush and pretty, and now it's brown. It looks dry. It looks like it needs water. And it's not looking so lush and green anymore, is it? Yeah, I think fall is coming. I think my tree is sick, said Fletcher. What's wrong with it, said his mother. The leaves are turning brown, said Fletcher. Don't worry, she said, it's only autumn. Fletcher ran back to his tree and patted the rough bark. Don't worry, it's only autumn, he said. You'll be feeling better soon. I'm noticing Fletcher doesn't understand what autumn means. Did you notice that too? Yeah. He thinks something's wrong, but really it's just the season's changing. But the tree didn't get better. Each day more leaves turned brown. One morning a wind blew a small brown leaf off the branch. Fletcher jumped up and caught it very gently in his paw. Don't worry, tree. I've got your leaf. I'll fix you. Fletcher looked around. He took a piece of grass and carefully tied the leaf to a branch. Do you think that's going to help Fletcher? Or do you think that will help the tree? No. Just another gust of wind ruffled Fletcher's fur. The little leaf shook itself free and fluttered back to the ground. Fletcher picked it up again and thought very hard. Then he poked the leaf onto the twig and pushed it down firmly. Now you hold on tight, said Fletcher. No more flying around. The little leaf gave a tiny rustle in reply. So Fletcher took the leaf and he poked it back on the branch so it would stay there. But do you think it's going to start growing again? I don't think so. The next day, a strong wind was blowing through the forest. Fletcher rushed out of the den and ran all the way to his tree. Lots of branches were bare and little lost leaves spun everywhere. Don't worry, tree. I'll catch them for you. I promise. Round and round and round whirled Fletcher after the swirling leaves. I see the wind is blowing the trees everywhere. What do you think? The leaves are going in all directions. Do you think Fletcher understands about the seasons yet? No, he still doesn't understand. Let's see if he will find out. Leaves! Wonderful, just what I need for my nest, said a squirrel. But these belong to the tree, Fletcher said. Don't take them away. The tree doesn't need them anymore, said the squirrel, bounding off. Help, 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 the wind and the squirrel are stealing our leaves, cried Fletcher. Leaves, terrific, just what I need to keep warm, said a porcupine, rolling around. But these leaves belong to the tree, said Fletcher, plucking the leaves from the porcupine's needles. Not anymore, snuffled the porcupine, and away he rolled. Help, 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 the wind, the squirrel, and the porcupine are stealing our leaves, said Fletcher. So he still doesn't understand. Oh no, do you think Fletcher will ever understand? Do you think he'll find out about the seasons and that they change? Suddenly, a flock of friendly birds swooped down from the sky. They picked up some leaves with their beaks and they poked them into their tree branches. Soon the tree was leafy again and Fletcher flopped down and smiled. "Thank you, birds, thank you," he gasps as the birds fluttered away. He lay looking up through the leaves in the sky and drifted off to sleep. But the wind continued to blow and the branches still danced. The leaves shivered and shook themselves and began to wriggle free. They tossed and turned and twitched and twirled and tumbled to the ground. They brushed Fletcher's ears and nose and filled his dreams with whispering sounds. When Fletcher finally woke up, he couldn't believe his eyes. Instead of a roof of dancing leaves, all he could see were bare branches against the sky. "Oh, tree, I'm so sorry," gulped Fletcher. "All your leaves are gone." But then he saw high in the branches one small leaf still holding on. "I won't let the wind steal that one," said Fletcher, and he began to climb. He crawled along to the last leaf and held it firmly onto its branch. All day long the wind blew, and the branch bounced, and Fletcher held tight. "I'll stay with you, leaf. Don't worry." So Fletcher is showing a lot of concern for this little leaf, isn't he? He's taking very good care of that leaf. But we know how seasons change, don't we? And we know that leaves fall off the trees and that it's okay, don't we? Yeah. Let's see if we can help Fletcher. But then, with a sudden whoosh of the wind, the branch bounced high. With a plip, the leaf let go and fluttered, and like a little flag clutched in Fletcher's paw. The leaf came off. Fletcher looked sadly at the leaf he promised to save. He carried it carefully down the tree and back to the den. He made a cozy little bed for it and gently tucked it in. But all night long, he could only think of his tree, all on its own. At dawn, Fletcher tiptoed outside. The wind had finally stopped blowing and the air was cold. The moon was still in the sky and the pale stars glimmered. As he came to his favorite tree, Fletcher saw a magical sight. What do you think Fletcher saw? The tree was hung with 1,000 icicles, shining, silver shining in the early light. "You're more beautiful than ever," whispered Fletcher. "But are you all right?" A tiny breeze shivered the branches, making a sound like laughter, and in the light of the rising sun, the sparkling branches nodded. Fletcher gave his tree a hug, and then he went back to the den for a nice, warm breakfast. So Fletcher was worried the whole time about his tree. And now he came out to see it, and the tree's okay. It's winter now, and the icicles are on the tree. The icicles are keeping the tree company, aren't they? Because the leaves aren't there. All done. And there's Fletcher's tree with leaves on it. Thank you, friends.